Set. Okay, is there a motion for, okay, Madam Clerk, number 3.
Requesting commission approval of a settlement in the matter of Jakarta Jennings versus the County of Wayne.
There a motion?
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Grace.
Thank you so much. All right, that is all of the new business items. Let's go back to where we're on page 11 with upcoming committee meetings.
Yes. Back to page 11, upcoming committee meetings.
Hey, everyone, please note the upcoming meetings. If there are any changes, please let the clerk know. Next item.
We're moving to page 13, testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. There's one item listed.
Hey, Commissioner Hayes.
Thank you, Madam the Chair. It's the resolution honoring a leader in the public safety in Van Buren, Greg Loren, been in the public safety almost all his adult life. He served in many different capacity. And the county, he was a leader in the SWAT team for the Wayne County, and a long, successful career. He served to receive great thank you and appreciation to his leadership in the public safety. There are too many successful stories I heard. Have a resolution to honor him and his retirement party next week, and it's open.
Moved by Commissioner Hayes, is there support?
Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion, hearing none, please vote. Okay, next item.
Memoriams, there are 8 names listed.
Okay, let me add the name of Louise McConaughey. That's the mother of 36 Chief Judge Bill McConaughey. Her services are actually today and tomorrow, and I have a memoriam with all commissioners' names on it. Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to add the name of Delia Tomei. For those that may have at some time visited the restaurant her family, she and her husband started many years ago. It's Angelo Brothers Italian Restaurant in Westland. It's been around a long time. Just a great lady. She passed away recently, and I wanted to extend our deepest sympathy to her family and her children. I've been very close to them over the years, and just was very saddened to see her pass away. But anyway, Mrs. Tomei passed away, and she always made the very famous sauce there, and trusting that she was able to impart that upon one of the cooks that will be there. But she was just a great lady. Thank you.
Eric Kinlock?
Yes, Madam Chair. I would like to add the name of Frank Beckman. He's a longtime talk show host on WJR, as well as the voice for Michigan radio, sports radio. He's a conservative. He was a Republican, but he was a gentleman. He was someone who I've appeared on his show a number of times, And we would have some serious conversations. We would disagree, but he was very respectful. And that's something that truly needs to be recognized in the climate and in a place where we are right now, where you have individuals who can disagree on political points, but still act respectfully. And so my thoughts and my prayers go out to his family. I've also have issued, requested a resolution, and it will be signed by all commissioners. I would also like to add the name of the first, as we're talking about Black History Month, the first Black mayor of the city of Flint, Woodrow Stanley, who is an icon in Black history here in the state of Michigan. And I know many of you all known him, and I would like to ask if the chair will facilitate a resolution coming from all commissioners.
Much. Absolutely. Commissioner Baydun, then Commissioner Haydus. Okay, Commissioner Haydus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Sam. I'd like to add the name of Bruce Farmer. He's a resident of Westland, the south side of Westland. Bruce was very involved in many charitable events and organization, very supportive resident in his neighborhood, well respected in the area. And my sympathy go to his wife and his kids. And I wish them well in their great loss. Thank you.
Mr. Scott.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. About three people I'd like to just say a few words about. First, Miss Evelyn Lucas. I thought I knew her, but I went to her funeral and saw the obituary, and that she and Judge Lucas have been married 75 years. And the children they raised were all professional, the grandchildren, and it was the family who eulogized him. They did the whole funeral. Even Judge Lucas spoke, so it was just heartwarming to know that at 16, they got married.
Wow.
And then at age 80, she was still getting degrees. She had 2 degrees that she received in the 80s, coming in first. Just a fantastic family. So my prayers go out to all of them. And also Benatrix Ben Rowland Jr., who grew up in Highland Park. And when I was mayor of the city, 1988, his father, Benatrix Rose Sr., was the treasurer. It was one of those families that made a lot of changes in the city of Highland Park. My dad found out that they had a college, a free college called Highland Park Community College. And in the 40s, we moved to Highland Park, but we were not able to buy a home all over Highland Park. It was either east of Oakland or west of Hamilton. So it was families like Mr. Rowland and others that worked together to make the changes in Highland Park. So I'm grateful to that family. Its dad has been dead a few years ago. And then there is Dorothy Donnell Eady, who lived also in one of the historical areas, was on the school board. Just a fantastic woman who worked with the children in the city and just did wonderful things. So I thank God for those 3 families that made a difference in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Commissioner Baydun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to add the name of Mr. Wayne Doran. And I'd like to say a few words about a distinguished and respected community member who passed away on February 10th at the age of 87. Mr. Doran was a great man who respected and worked tirelessly for his community. He attended Arizona State University and relocated to Michigan after being personally selected by Henry Ford II to serve as the founding chairman of the Ford Motor Land Development Corporation, and later became vice president of Ford Motor Company before retiring in 2001. Mr. Wayne Doran was responsible for developments such as the Renaissance Center in Detroit, the Fairlane Community, and the TPC of Dearborn. Mr. Doran also established the Doran Community Scholars Program, which provided scholarships to more than 200 students. He will definitely be missed by all those who met him. We thank and honor him for all that he has done for our community. I extend my sincerest condolences to his wife, Maureen, and his children, and 3 beautiful grandchildren. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional names to add? Speak on, okay. If we could all rise for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Let us keep the families and friends of those we've lost in our prayers. Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Public comments.
Okay, is there anyone on the public to make, on the Zoom for public comments? I see a hand, Daniel. Oh, I'm sorry,
Hi.
60 seconds is fine. Yeah,
Hi,
1
Dan.
minute.
This
Yes,
is
Daniel, Daniela, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Daniela. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi, my name's Daniela. I'm a nurse for almost 25 years. I just want to say thank you for decreasing the masks in the schools. That is wonderful. That started today. Mr. Jones had mentioned something about those that don't learn from the past may repeat it. I know you guys all know about the Tuskegee event and the Holocaust. I don't know if you guys understand about Senator Ron Johnson's COVID-19 second opinion roundtable. There was an attorney on there, Mr. Rentz, who represents the whistleblowers for the Department of Defense of Medical Database, and has found that the Defense Department is extracting data that is decreasing the side reactions to the vaccine. They had found that the miscarriages had increased by 300% after vaccination in our military. Cancer increased 300%. Neurological increased by 1,000%. That's 82,000 in 1 year, went up to 863,000 military people in 1 year got a reaction from that vaccine. Mr. Peter,
thank you, ma'am. Your time is up. Thank you so much.
why is it only 1 minute? Most people do 3 minutes. Why 1 minute?
Next, we have Billy Schwartz.
Good morning. I'm just calling regarding the matching of our transportation, our busing. If you go on to the whitehouse.gov, put out by the Biden administration, that their public transportation is different than what Wayne County's public transportation is. They do not include school buses in their public transportation. That is excluded, but yet Wayne County does include school buses. There are many other different things that is different between what the United States considers public transportation and what Wayne County does. So that could affect, I believe, could affect grants if it specifies towards the public transportation. So I would like Wayne County to adjust what they consider public transportation to match what the United States that is put out by the Biden administration And one of those things is the busing of the school buses. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Matthew.
Hello again, Honorable Board. I actually sent in a public comment by email initially, but after hearing the very last minute change to the health department's policies, I feel like it's a little out of date. So I figured I'd jump on and make a quick comment. We are pleased to hear that the mask mandates are being dropped for school children. That's a big thing. However, I do want to remind everyone listening that this was not this board's doing. And despite our asking for help, there was no action taken. Instead, it seems we waited until the state made a move before we would do the right thing. And I also remind this board that the state legislature ruled that masking was should be removed back in October. So this is a little too late. And we do need to take steps to make sure that this never happens again. So I want to encourage this body to start looking at ordinances to put in place to prevent this gross overreach of a health department from ever happening again. Thank you.
Thank you. Leah?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, yes. So I am also relieved to see that the mask mandates have finally been dropped in our county. We were the last one to do it in Michigan, which is frankly embarrassing. But I am glad that we finally got on board with that. And I agree with the previous callers that we need to make sure that this never happens again. I am also frustrated with the county agreeing to spend $1.7 million on a vaccine ad campaign at the last meeting, when it's been discussed that we really need to be spending our money on other things like fixing our roads. And so this mismanagement of funding is really frustrating. And I hope to see it change in the future. And like the other speaker said earlier, we need to stop repeating the same mistakes of not putting our funding in the right places. And also we need to do a better job in the future of protecting our children by making sure that they are never required to wear masks again. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa? You're muted.
Good?
Yes.
Good morning. Thank you for taking time today to confirm the announcement rescinding mask mandates in Wayne County. As a citizen attending your meetings via Zoom for months, urging this consideration with no prior success, it is truly appreciated. Going forward, even though your board asserted last week, it does not have the authority to make public health policy, you do have significant ability to influence that policy, since you were asked by the health department itself to review and approve a $1.7 million contract with Brogan and Partners Advertising. Therefore, acknowledging today it was announced positivity is way down, and I am relieved the mandates are now lifted. If we are truly concerned.
You went muted again.
Therefore, acknowledging today it was announced positivity is way down, I am relieved the mandates are now lifted. But if we are truly concerned with community health, I ask your future budget considerations include tax dollars to promote other mitigation strategies like improved ventilation systems, nutrition, and lifestyle choices in our schools, not just vaccines. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone on the telephone? Do we have any emails? Oh, okay, let's go to the person in the chambers first.
Robert Pawlowski.
Good afternoon.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't even notice that. So I'm here today speaking on the development in our city. I know Abdul Haddis is a board member for SMART, and I see him regularly every month for our meetings. And I am totally pleased to just say that passing this project in Huron Township is going to really benefit the area and hopefully bring regional transit into our system. So the biggest thing, sorry, I'm in another meeting right now. If we can grow and get the RTA fully in our state and our region, then we will grow more as a region, bringing more jobs to this area more than before. I admire the county executive's plan for regional transit, and I'd like to see him push that some more. All we can do is keep up the fight, and I want to see more support from this county going forth on regional transit. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's anyone else in the chamber who would like to speak, go ahead.
So, okay,
It's on.
I don't know how you guys can stand wearing these things. I don't like playing Transformers cosplay, if you know what I mean. My name is Celeste Mentag. I am a resident of Wayne County, and I also speak for Wayne County families who want a choice in masking their children. I know a lot of people are thankful for the mandates being lifted, but I like for you guys, I know you guys just had a memorial of everybody who just died, and my condolences to those families. What about the shining lights, the children from the families in this county who committed suicide because of this draconian mask mandate that you put on them? This is deplorable. This is disgusting. Now we lost promise in our county, promise in our state, promise in our country, and promise in our world because of these mask mandates. And I didn't need your permission 2 years ago not to wear a mask, me or my family. And that will never happen again. We will make sure of it. We will find your replacements. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the chambers who would like to speak? Public comments at this time. All right. Emails, please, Madam Clerk.
Shirley Martin. Commissioners, the CDC reports that Wayne County residents are 62% fully vaccinated and Detroit is 36% fully vaccinated. It appears that those wanting a vaccination have had no problem finding a location to receive. USA Today reported that throughout the pandemic, Wayne County reported 388,000 COVID cases. Apparently, people have not had a hard time finding a place to be tested either. Wayne County cases have fallen 56.2% in the last week. That does not signal the need for more vaccines. So why has the commission agreed to spend $28 million from FEMA to promote vaccines and testing? The unbelievable part is that you will find a way to spend all that money by March 31st, even though you take great pleasure in saying all the services are free to residents. They are not free to anyone. FEMA funds are taxpayer dollars. You are wasting them. Shirley Martin. Morning. I wanted to start off by thanking you for finally lifting the mandate of masks. Thank you to those that have been in favor and pushing for our children. While it has been a daunting task trying to get everyone on board and finally listen to science, I have to say I am still taken aback and appalled that this has taken so long and caused so much damage to our youth. Can you tell me statistically the suicide rates prior to masking versus after you placed the mandate for masking our children? What about depression and anxiety in our children? Having a daughter that suffers from depression and anxiety, your mandates have crippled her self-esteem. Masking her gave her a reason to hide behind a mask and hinder her growth. Not to mention with so many children having anxiety and depression issues, social workers and therapists are swamped, therefore not able to render services as needed. Shame on everyone that went against the science and against our children. We will not forget you when it comes time to vote again. Raina Vandramini. Wayne County elected officials effective today, February 16, 2022, MDHHS has announced that they are dropping the recommendation for masks in schools. As your constituent, I want you to lift your mask mandates in the schools effective immediately. It's the right thing to do. enough is enough. Matthew Taylor. Good morning. I hope this email finds you well. I would like to make the following public comment. My name is Matthew Taylor and I reside in Redford Township. I appreciate the work that you do for our county. You continually meet to discuss the future of the county of Wayne and do research and make decisions based on what is in front of you. It's a hard job to find the most prevailing, lawful, and well-meaning voice among the people in a county or region and then act on that. However, I have this against you. There have been repeated calls by citizens weekly for the unmasking of Wayne County, one of the 2 remaining counties in Michigan to continue in them. It makes me scratch my head as to why this continues when this prevailing lawful and well-meaning voice comes to you often and in the form of those making public comments here today, yet without your decisive action to follow. Please consider this a mark against you for your future endeavors to be reelected. Respectfully and with best regard, Matthew Taylor. This is from Elaine Radley. Why do you continue to hold on to this illegal mandate? You anticipate to drop it. Well, that's not good enough. With yesterday's guidance that was updated by MDHHS, enough is enough. It needs to be dropped now. What you all have done will never be forgotten, and you will be voted out when the time comes. You have woken up a sleeping giant, and we, the parents, will never fall asleep on your watch ever again. So for that, I do thank you all. Elaine Radley. Darcy Reese. I write today to ask you again to rescind all mask mandates in Wayne County, all over the country, and in the state of Michigan. Counties have removed their mandate for many reasons. The efficacy of masks has been shown to be low, and the impact of continued wearing of masks on children detrimental. Wayne County is the only county in Michigan still holding on to these absurd mandates. I urge you to do anything and everything in your power as a legislative body of Wayne County to influence the health department to rescind these orders. Do the right thing for our students. There's not enough time to save yourselves for the elections in the fall, but there's enough time to save our children. Darcy Reese. Bridget Forensky. Why in the world are we not ending this mandate today? Is there a health emergency amongst children to not drop it now? No, and there never was, because our children were never at risk. Shame on you and anyone else who has dragged our kids through this political circus. How can you sleep at night knowing these innocent children's mental health is now at risk? 2 weeks to slow the curve. Yeah, okay. All trust is gone. End this political nonsense now, not in 2 weeks, now. P.S. Masks don't work against viruses. Tamara Olivero. First and foremost, thank you to the Chief Medical Health Officer, Avani Sheath, for lifting the mask mandate this morning. Also, thank you to everyone in the administration and on this commission who worked behind the scenes to make this happen. That being said, we will never forget what Warren C. Evans did to our kids and the commissioners who forced adult burdens on our children or stood complicit through it all. Do know that we will work diligently to ensure this never happens again. That was the last one.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item, please.
Reconsiderations.
There are none. Next item.
Remarks by members.
Okay, remarks by members. Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had several remarks planned for today, but with the announcement this morning by Wayne County, I'd like to just include 2 paragraphs I had here and scrap the rest of it right now. Parents have been desperate to stop the mask mandates here and across the country. They know their children best and know what is right for them. They have been ridiculed throughout the land, called stupid, targeted as terrorists, and labeled as right-wing crazies by national and state leaders, when in reality, this parental concern crossed significantly over party lines, and they are none of the other labels. My hat is off to the parents here in Wayne County and across the country who have worked tirelessly for all these months trying to normalize their kids' lives. I also want to give a shout out to one of my school districts, Livonia Public Schools. They've already made the plans at a mask choice policy where families can determine if they want their kids to continue to wear masks or not will be put in place immediately. The decision to wear or not to wear masks by the families of the LPS children will be respected by all who attend the LPS schools. Thank you very much.
Other comments, Commissioner Dobb?
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to give a brief summary of the Neco Legislative Conference that I just got back from. I went with Commissioner Marecki, Commissioner Baker McCormick, and Chair Bell. And one of the really important things that the National Association of Counties does is that they do get involved in federal legislation. And in particular, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Neco was huge in getting money directly sent to counties. As I understand, the original version of that act had all of the money going straight to the states. So Neco, got involved and got a big chunk of those funds coming directly to counties. So that's part of the work that those of us who are involved in Neco, that's what we do. I'm on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, so that's kind of like my part. There was so much more that we did, but that's what I've got to report on. And it was a great conference. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Anderson, Kinlock, and Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to ask someone, a representative, if there's someone here from the administration. I think Andy's still here. And if there's been any steps taken to determine whether or not the tethers that are being used currently are compatible beyond the 3G service, because as many of us, I'm sure, have heard, if not all, that this is being phased out and it would affect anything, and including a critical thing like the tether system. And because 3G is being phased out to make room on the spectrum for 5G. And it's been announced. It's a big issue going on across the country. And I just wanted to make sure that we were in a good place on it. And I just wondered if there's someone in administration that would be willing to speak on that, to give us an answer.
I don't know if anyone from the Sheriff's Office is on right now. If not, maybe that can be issued or taken up at Public Safety next week to have the Sheriff's Office come and address that, or IT.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I would also just ask that we ask the administration if they've looked across all departments, not only the tether system, but all departments' communication that we have right now, any form of communication, that we are ready for that when that's phased out, that any vendors that we're working with are in what they have in place, that we have something that we're not going to suffer some breakdown in communication. And I would also ask that we make a request that someone be here at meetings or online from DPS and from other departments, that we can get answers on the spot. Thank you.
And maybe even in the GovOps Committee, Commissioner Dobb, for the IT department to come and speak about that 5G issue. Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, just to make note of the tether issue, the Sheriff's Department, along with others, will be at the Special Committee on Criminal Justice Complex that is to start after this meeting. So I know there'll be some folks there, and we will actually be talking about the readiness of the transfer or transition into the new complex from the Sheriff's Department, so that if they're available to talk about that. But more so, wanted to mention that we will probably be starting that meeting at 12 12:45, to allow some time for individuals to go to their office to join us by Zoom. And I would just like to ask the Auditor General, who I love your reports. They're very detailed and very helpful in as being a new commissioner. But, we've been talking about the medical examiner's office. I know you're conducting that audit, and I'm not sure how much you listen to chatter and specifically information that's still moving around from the media. Specifically, there is a report where a person was basically signed off as being deceased, a death certificate issued, and the person was still alive. And so there was some issue as relates to who was actually buried in that, or who was actually buried, the individual or person that was buried. So I'm not sure if you're listening to the continuing progress of these issues. So I just wanted you to take note as it relates. I was just wanting to know if you're taking note of what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank my colleagues for their vote regarding the stadium in Hamtramck, that it is just going to be so wonderful that we have one of the Black Negro Leagues. There's only a few, I believe it's 4 in the country, and there's one in Hamtramck. And I'm just looking forward to when we complete that. And also, I was just confirmed again this morning with the county exec staff that we will be getting those 2 homes that's been 50 years old. The money is going now and they're going to be built. They was displaced over 50 years ago when they brought the freeways through just about all the Black areas all over this country. And mine, it just happened to be in my district for Hamtramck. And so many, there are a couple of those women, I'm not sure about the men, but I know there's 2 women that is still alive today that saw that being happen, and they are just grateful. And since it's happened during February, Black History Month, it's even added more. So I am just grateful. There's just so many stories. As I indicated, my family moved to Highland Park in the 40s, and you couldn't live all over the city. It was either east of Oakland, west of Oakland, or east of Hamilton. And then for me, 30-some years later, to be able to be the mayor of that city, because my father would always say, well, everything changes. We just have to be ready for that change. So I am grateful for my parents for moving in, and my dad moved in because he heard 2 men on the bus talking about a city called Highland Park that had free college. And he said, I got to find out where that city is because I have 5 children. So I am just grateful that my parents moved to Highland Park. And that's why I'm still there. Much is given, much is required.
Yes. Yes.
So I am just grateful. So that's my Black history facts. And I got a whole lot more because I've been around a little while. But I am glad for the changes in that.
Absolutely.
So thank you all for allowing me to say this.
Thank you, Commissioner Scott. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So Vice Chair Pro Tem Baidoon. That's a mouthful.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As all of you know, the pothole season is upon us, and all of us, the commissioners, have been receiving phone calls about potholes in our districts. I have received several ones, and I want to thank Andy and Director Watts for addressing something on Oakland Boulevard in Dearborn, but the road is very, very bad, and I know they're trying to do as much as they can possibly do with the limited staff that they have and the limited resources. I just wanted to see if Beverly is still with us, or maybe Andy can maybe give the public an update or say a few words, assure the public that the DPS department is looking at all these issues and they're trying to get to them as fast as possible. I know it's a big dilemma, I wish they had all the magic answers for all these potholes throughout Wayne County, but we're gonna see more of them with the thaw and freeze, and now we're getting more snow and rain. So I don't know if Beverly is with us, or Andy can maybe say a few words to assure the public who are listening to us right now on Zoom, what the county is doing, what the DPS department is doing in terms of addressing these pothole issues, Andy.
Yes, thank you, Andy. Hit the button again. There you go.
Some things never change. Good afternoon, everybody. Andrew Candrevas here from Wayne County Executive Warren Evans' office. To be blunt, Commissioner, the process is the same as always. 888 road crew is the number to call. Please identify if there's something that is an emergency, if you see rebar, if you see something that's punctured tires, that should always be noted. Our crews are going out, they're spending their daylight hours up until today probably, where we're gonna get snow and everybody will be on snow duty. We don't have a separate group of, hundreds of workers to do snow and hundreds of workers to do asphalt. Our workers are our workers in Department of Public Services. They have to learn a lot of different things for all the seasons that we have. And sometimes seasons don't fall squarely on the calendar. We're gonna continue to have pothole issues until the freeze thaw is done. When the governor runs on fix the damn roads, this is fix the damn roads. These are the issues. It's not just a project here, a project there. It's until we phase in for years new influxes of money, which have been coming through, but it takes years to undo what has been diminishing for decades in Michigan and especially in Wayne County. So we do ask for motorists patience. It's difficult, it's dangerous. We all drive these streets. Mr. Evans doesn't not drive on these streets. These commissioners don't not drive on. We all drive on these streets. We all know the conditions. Please stay clear of crews that are out there constantly patching roads. But it is warm asphalt that's put into a hole. And if the weather conditions are good, it might stay there a little bit. If it's like this with freezing rain, we really don't have a shot. So we're gonna keep doing that. We're not gonna stop doing that. We are looking at ways of supplementing the road crews, and hopefully we'll have an update on that soon.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Black History Month. So I'd like to give a little Black history, and our PR person is writing something up so that we can post it. But my son-in-law, James Moss, informed me that the first Black woman Wayne County Commissioner in Detroit was his cousin. And her name was Catherine Shavers. In 1959, she filed the first civil rights case about not being served in a restaurant and won. She was part of the Detroit delegation at the first Black political convention, which included Coleman Young, depicted in the Eye of the Prize series. She had civil rights cases against the Detroit Edison and the Michigan Consolidated Gas, redlining against the Black community in Detroit. So I just want to share a bit about our Wayne County commissioners, and I'm pleased to know that that my son-in-law is his cousin is.
Very good.
Fantastic woman. I knew her.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Awesome history on our own Wayne County Commission Board. Thank you for that. Al? Okay, Commissioner Hayes.
Well, I really like to say congratulations on the Black History Month to the Black people, but I changed my mind. I want to say to all of us, because we realize the history, it's a great thing to know and remember. And we know we have a painful time, we have successful time, but all together make our history. And the end, we start to celebrate that. And what's impressed me the most in last few days, I have a grandson, 12 years old. They ask the whole class is to write a small thesis on a person you think it's a great person. And we was watching the TV. We give him a little time for TV after dinner. And there was the Black History Report on Dr. Martin Luther King, Sidney Poitier, Sammy Davis Jr. And he asked me, who you think I should write thesis about? I said, you have to choose one. I can't choose for you. I want to see. And he pulled a small paper out of his backpack. He said, I want to write about President Obama. I was very impressed how much that young man paid attention to the history. Because of the History Month, bring that to the attention of the teacher, to the educator. Let's see how can we educate the kids in a positive way. So I really felt good about it. And he asked me a few questions and I answered him. And then we let him do his homework and he's gonna present that today. And today here we mentioned celebration of the Black History Month. Things fell in the right place at the right time. And I'm proud of that. We really start to realize each other, respect each other, admire each other, despite the color, ethnicity, religion. So congratulations to all of us on this month.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Scott?
Yes, thank you for a second time. I don't know if anyone saw it, but last night, the governor had a Black History program on, and it was very good from 5:30 to 6:30.
I missed that one. I have to hopefully can pull that up on
And out
YouTube.
of that, I did not know that we had this Black skating group, but it's 5 years old. And we had, they had all the kids out there skating.
Ice skating?
Ice skating. It was just wonderful. I didn't know that, so I was glad to know that we had that right here.
Yes.
Yes.
Figure skating, yes. All right, thank you. I'll just leave a couple of last words here. I want to thank the staff, Commission Council, Pam staff, for getting the items to us. They work tirelessly through the weekends, at night, late night, to make sure we have our items on the agenda and that they're accurate and complete. So let me personally thank you both and your staff for all that you do to make sure that we have our items. Is very much appreciated. Also, I'd like to also mention, as Commissioner Dodd mentioned about the Neco conference. The Neco is National Association of Counties, and its whole responsibility is advocating on county issues to federal partners. And they did an absolute wonderful job in DC. The culminating event was that President Biden came and spoke. He physically came to the conference and spoke to commissioners and county officials because he too started his career as a county commissioner. So he has a deep love for county commission and the work that we do. And he stated that in his remarks. So I want to thank Neco and thank colleagues who were able to go to the conference and absorb all of the great information that we absorbed. I do have pamphlets to give out to commissioners. I took a whole suitcase full back. So I'll share with you because they do issue papers on almost everything pertaining to county government. So I thought they were great, and they're great resources for us so that we don't have to recreate the wheel. If things are being done, in Harris County, Texas, if things are being done in Cook County, Illinois, and, or any rural county in America that can benefit our residents, we should look at that and do that without having to reproduce the wheel and just grab all the great information that they provide to us. So I'll make sure commissioners get those issue papers later on today and into next week. Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to note too, the NACO website is filled with information. So if you ever need to look up anything, they've got a lot of stuff on there.
Yes, including ARPA spend, infrastructure bill spend, just as a plethora of information that can benefit us as commissioners and all of us here in Wayne County administration. So, all right, two more things. Vice Chair Palomero.
We'll start at 1 o'clock.
Oh, go. Okay. Thank you, Vice Chair Falomir.
Yes.
It was Toby, the dog. Toby.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Black History Month recognition and observation, thumbs up.
Oh.
Lifting the mask mandate in schools, thumbs up. Snowplow drivers working on Super Bowl Sunday and again today, thumbs up. Thanks to all of you. Let's focus on the positive. Good things are happening in Wayne County, and I move to adjourn.
All right, I love it. All right. Meeting